no investigation has been conducted. But John Mahama himself, Chief Justice in a position or no, a very sensitive position. A positioner, it will be so bad for people to be pointing fingers at her when she has not been cleared of an allegation. John Mahama believes say, or no Chief Justice no hono, the position your position be a what it will be very unfair. Say John Mahama, I'm a Chief Justice at Naho, na investigations the course, na Chief Justice at the court, DSM, na majority of the people in court, no, in their head, no, they think the Chief Justice has committed a crime that has not been investigated. It is John Mahama as the president, no. The advice is given the Chief Justice is to protect your integrity and protect the office you are. No? Step aside. Let somebody who can also take over from you sit in when investigations, you know. Say investigations in India, Madam Torkornoo, you can come back and occupy your seat. Who in Ghana have said Chief Justice has committed a crime? Why not? What Ghana and Eka said the Chief Justice has committed a crime. And they said, Unimbibi. So when we say MPP for the year the day, and the matter say journalist for be minorities no Eka MPP for one Eka say John Mahama time Chief Justice. Why? How? Aya then na John Mahama time Chief Justice. Now dear you say you expect journalists. You expect nipebia. Oji so much do. Now the question I want to ask and say, it's Madam Torkornoo Osonomame above the law in Ghana? Who is above the law in Ghana? Madam Torkornoo's position it's a political position. She was appointed by a politician. Whether you like it or not, the position she's filling is a political position. And at the end of the day, it is only a politician who has the right to open investigations into Madam Torkornoo or whoever occupies that CJ position. So at this point, the question here is, Madam Torkornoo, is she above the law? Because we are talking about the three arms of government. There is the judiciary, which is led by Madam Torkornoo, the legislature, led by Alban Bagbin, and the executive, led by the President of the Republic, John Mahama. Now the question here is, all these people are mentioned, are they above the law? When a petition is brought against them, are they so above the law that they cannot be questioned? No. It does not matter who you are. The President of the Republic can be impeached. So if the President can be impeached, why can't we basically look into an allegation or allegations or a petition that has been brought against the Chief Justice? Unless, wait, Jimmy. Unless you are trying to make it look like, say, the Chief Justice who is being questioned, the Chief Justice who is being helped by the President by protecting her integrity, unless who was some political idea be a person was say Ghana for agony. Now, Matter say MPP for Kakaka, Nana B, Afenyo Markin, MPP for the opportunity be at TV so. I mu Chief Justice in India say MPP but power. Yes, you may see. And you see, this needs to go into the head of the NPP. Mobile power. Whoever is the Chief Justice, Mopamono. The law is the law. If the next Chief Justice to replace or the person to act, say, Madam Way, you are suspending, whoever is going to act, I am Mr. Bafuboni. If he also goes against the law and a petition has to be raised against him, why don't we have to support it? It is a MPP for you say. Mokache Ghana for say, ye Madam Torkornoo or ye MPP ni ye penasem ekufa na deba enti modia montwen power sesa yes you be change whoever is there as far as you have grounds, as far as the person has committed a crime, as far as the process is being followed, I have no problem. It may be somewhere MPP for go around the country and tell Ghana for say Mosumunya to me, I'm a Chief Justice. Monfanya campaign message. I want you to do that. Maybe say, how Ghanaians will accept that message. Maybe say, MPP for go to market, go to Ghanaians and tell Ghana for say, and the process now cost no money. My dream no moon say, John Mahama na pese oyi Chief Justice no into musumu we need power mo be yi Chief Justice bi amabeto no mo fa side no campaign message na mo share say Ghana for will buy it, and I want people to use that as your message. Nobody is going to pamper anybody. So over power 2028 2042 2078. Now we change Chief Justice. As far as it's built on solid grounds, why should anybody contest you? Because from what I am seeing, the president has not gone against the law. He is still working within the law. The president has not basically been biased towards the Chief Justice. In fact, the Chief Justice demanded for only 7 days. The President of the Republic gave the Chief Justice 10 days. Now, when Charlotte Osei was being, when a petition was sent to the President to basically look into Charlotte Osei and possibly make sure he follows due process, what did we say in Ghana? Now, do you know, say, a position like the EC boss in Ghana is not a small position. Time the petition, Ekoma Ekufuadwa, or deny Charlotte Osei access to the petition. At that point, it was the first time anything like that had happened in Ghana. Time I the petition come Ekufuadwa, na EBS say, your petition president say, Yanjusha a year EC boss in Semuda. Ekufuadwa did not give Charlotte Osei the opportunity to even look at what is in the petition. But if people did not see anything wrong, say our democracy is going to go into the ditch. The EC boss, she is in charge of our elections. That was the first time in the history of Ghana, Obia petitioned the president to look into the conduct of the EC boss. Yanti Kromha, the first time in the history of Ghana, Bawomiani Ekufuadwa and the Ghana election court. Did our democracy collapse? In fact, the argument people made then was that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo going to court in 2012 was a good sign. It was going to basically enrich our democratic dispensation. And yes, we had not seen that in our history before. Nobody had taken an election to court. But when Akufo-Addo and Bawumia entered court in 2012, in the Supreme Court, majority of you people today criticizing today, people petitioning against the Chief Justice, you said that was good for our day, that was good for our democracy, and that we needed to test our democracy. That was the first time in our history. Did this country collapse? Did somebody say because an opposition party had taken a party to court, it was going to destroy our democracy, and we were never going to have a diligent or a better election again? Mukache said 2012 elections the court and then etimi hold a democracy, hold the elections, and then I make it good changes to our electoral process. Ever seen there? Is it not that whether or not the words used? Until then ended there, Madam Torkornoo, in the history of our republic, petition has been brought to the president. Now we follow due process. Then ended the Moka say due process now president no follow. It is the beginning of the end of our democracy. This was when Charlotte Osei was in office. Ekufu at the time. Yeah. The
President Akufo-Addo has referred a petition signed by 17 persons seeking to impeach the chairperson of the Electoral Commission to the Chief Justice for resolution. According to the Director of Communication at the Flagstaff House, Mr. Eugene Ahin, this is in accordance with the provisions of Article 146, Paragraph 3 of the Constitution.
Around 12 o'clock this afternoon, the President referred the petition that had been brought to him by the concerned staff of the Electoral Commission, who are demanding for the removal of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Madam Charlotte Osei, to the Chief Justice. Now, you know this matter is purely a constitutional one, so in accordance with Article 146(3) of the Constitution, when such a matter is brought before the President, i.e. with regards to the removal of a Justice of the Superior Court or the removal of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, the President has no choice but to forward the petition to the Chief Justice, who would, if she decides there's a prima facie case against the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, is supposed to form a committee who would also look into the matter, make recommendations to her, and then subsequently the Chief Justice forwards those recommendations to the President for action. There are names attached. Initially, when the petition was brought, it was, as I said in my statement, it was assigned and it was undated, and the names of the petitioners were not present. But I think on the 20th of July, the counsel for the petitioners furnished the presidency with the names of 17 people who have petitioned for the removal of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission.
This is Eugene Ahin. Akufo-Addo power now. 17 people petitioned Akufo-Addo. 17. Petition called first name didn't count. It was a vague document, but the presidency accepted it. It was later the presidency realized, say, petition Abeka president inside. Omo petition is didn't count. And the president can say, Omo paper Tony Bremeno, Omo form din samra. How foolish can we be? We soaked this. Mo radio TV so them went to man say that was the beginning of a skewed process. How can you write a petition to the president without any name, but the president actually accepted and gave you receipts? How can the presidency accept a petition without name, without date, and give you receipt and say, yes, I'm going to give it to the president? How? But in this, 17 people petitioning the president without name and dates, without information, the president said, he has accepted it and he was going to take action. It was later, and a NIPA 17 lawyers say, oh, if you are see any asimesi, and like I say, oh, where we at the buyer. That petition against Charlotte was written at the Jubilee House and the Akufo-Addo. After the seriousness of our hypocrisy. And Konfonom radio TV so trying to make you think say omunim nyansa, they are the ones with all the knowledge. Now we are exposing their stupid hypocrisy. The President of the Republic from day one received this document, knew the people who wrote the document, never hid it, gave it to the Council of State, and even gave it to the Chief Justice. Still, you people are sitting there telling us, and all these things happening, no? Radio, journalists, so-called journalists, they were on radio. They were there. They were part of the conversation. They knew a petition had been given to Akufo-Addo. Akufo-Addo did not give it to Charlotte Osei to look at it. Akufo-Addo went ahead to execute whatever he wanted to execute. Akufo-Addo worked against the constitution. All these so-called journalists in Ghana were on radio. They read everything. They knew the petition that went to Akufo-Addo against Charlotte Osei did not have names with it. But the presidency accepted the vague paper. These same people today, they have not been able to establish, say, John Mahama, the president of the republic, he has gone against the law once. No. These so-called journalists on the TV soon himself, President Edim Ranoso, Atumimpo Ama Chief Justice 10 days, Abrado Obuta 7 days. These people sitting on radio calling themselves journalists. Omunim said, President Mahama or Mahama Council of State, free hand to do their job. These people know, said the President of the Republic, when boom rebia so, entire day na sanko for to be radio so, to speak, say, the actions na who process na fluid, you know. How can they sit on radio today to tell Ghana for say we are doing something that will destroy our democracy, and that what is happening, you know, a deliberate, a Jubilee House, a president, you know, then a journalist sat na radio so kasa asamono. Ethiopian can will minimum. For a journalist to sit on TV or radio to make that statement, that journalist is an enemy of the state. Those are the people who cause tribal war. They cause a political war in the nation. Because what they are doing is they are putting a lot of fire where there should be no fire. They are preparing the people's mind. Say, the actions are President Netekia within his constitutional mandate, you know, they are trying to skew that process. They are trying to create an impression, say, the president is doing something bad. Whilst they know for a fact, none of them can sit on TV or radio to tell you Ghanaians, say, President John Mahama has gone against the law. Nobody to date, no journalist to date has been able to say, President went against the law.